Okay, so metric system, something I'm sure you've heard of before, but this will be a review plus some refreshing on converting in the metric system. So the glory of the metric system is that it's a system of tens. So if you think about what you normally, say, measure height in, you probably measure your height in feet and inches. All right, so to convert from inches to feet, you know there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And then say you needed to get bigger than that. You wanted to know how many feet were in a yard. That's 3. And then, you know, how many feet are in a mile is 5,000 something. There's all of these just crazy different numbers that you have to keep in mind in order to convert within the English system. The metric system, everything is a multiple of 10. Which not only is easier to remember, but also makes it so that when you do your conversions, really you're just moving decimals. So that's the glory of the metric system and why most of the world, including the scientific world, uses it. So when dealing with the metric system, it is good to know some terminology here. There's the SI unit, which comes from this phrase Sistema Internacional de Unités, or in English, it's the International System of Units. All right, these are the units standardly used in equations. All right, so these are kind of when we are dealing with an equation in chemistry or something like that, this is the unit we tend to convert things to in order to use the equation appropriately. All right, so like length we use meters, temperature we use Kelvin. You already know that when you get into chemistry B, you'll have to convert all of your temperatures into Kelvin. Base units, on the other hand, are the just kind of basic unit without any prefixes. Many of the SI units themselves are base units. The one major example that's not a base unit is for mass. Mass, we use kilograms as the SI unit. So that prefix kilo means that it's 1,000 grams. Everything else doesn't have that prefix in front of it, so those are all considered base units. All right. This base unit idea is important, though, for our metric staircase here. These are the different metric quantities that you need to be comfortable with converting between. And what it is the base unit is just the single word. It can be any of those. It can be any metric unit. It can be typical mass, which is grams. Volume is measured in liters. Length is measured in meters. It can also be, you know, amps or candelas or anything that was on the last slide. All right, but your base unit doesn't have a prefix in it, so it's just 1. Everything else, like you're probably familiar with centimeters. All right, you might even know that there's 100 centimeters in a meter. All of those other ones that have a prefix are telling you, you know, this is a different comparable size to the base unit. All right, so when it comes to using the staircase to do conversions, you have to kind of think about what direction you're going. One thing I kind of want to help point out is, you know, if say this line was a meter, actually let me draw that a little longer. So let's say that's 1 meter. If I wanted to draw out decimeters, it would look something like this. All right, so 1 meter is made out of 10 decimeters. You can also see that a decimeter is shorter or smaller than the meter. All right, so as you go down this staircase, so like a centimeter, there'd be 100 of those in here, which I'm not going to draw because that would take forever. But there'd be 100 little lines taking up the same space as that 1 meter line. All right, so as you go down the staircase, your units are getting smaller, which means you need more of them in order to take up the same amount of space. All right, so because of that, it's like you're multiplying or moving your decimal to the right. All right. Likewise, if you go up the staircase in the opposite direction, everything's getting bigger. You need fewer of them in order to take up the same amount of space. So you're going to move your decimal to the left, or it's like you're dividing. All right, so let's apply this to a problem so that this sinks in. So say, for example, you need to convert 100 meters into centimeters. All right, so just to kind of help you grasp where your starting and ending points are on this, the number given to you, that's always going to be your starting point. So the unit on that number is where you begin. So we're starting at our base unit in meters. All right, and then we need to convert into centimeters, which means we're going to centimeters, so that's our ending point. All right, so to do that, we're going to go 2 steps down, which means we're going to move our decimal twice, since we're going down to the right. So this number 100, the decimal's not written there, but really it's just following the number. All right, and then you take this decimal and you move it to the right twice. 1, 2. If you have any blank spots with no numbers in them, you just put zeros in there. So now 100 meters into centimeters is 10,000 centimeters. All right. All right, let's try the next one. This one we're going to convert 345 centimeters, right? So the number given to us, the unit on there is our starting point. And then we are going to move to meters as our ending point. So this time we're going 2 steps up the staircase. Going up the staircase means we move the decimals to the right. So 345, decimals right there, 2 times. That gives us 3.45 meters. All right, so let's do one more. We've got 0.5901 kilograms to milligrams. So our starting point is going to be kilograms. We need to go to milligrams, so we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the staircase. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. So we're going to take this 0.5901 and move our decimal 6 times, since we're going down the staircase to the right. 6. So there were 2 blanks in there. So that's going to be 590,100 milligrams. All right. So if you want some practice doing this, we got some examples here. I'll do a couple of them. One quick thing, just because it's only in the small print, but deca is abbreviated DM, capital D. Deci, if you look in the small print, you can see it underneath there, but that's lowercase d-m. So like, for example, here, going from decameters to decimeters. All right, so you're going from deca to, 2 centimeters. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 steps down. So 1, 2, 3 steps over, 7,500 centimeters. All right, so again, you can practice these. If you have any questions, come to help.